dua, tiga.
Have you ever listened your friends talk to you like they want to share some problems to you? It is a very complex problem and you just hang in there and then, oh my god, it's really hard to understand this problem because it is out of my context. And sometimes your friends like thinking, this is a very big problem, a very complex one, and it is really need a very comprehensive understanding to understand my problem. And sometimes you just don't know the background and the context of the problem, and then you don't understand thoroughly about the problem. Well, when you are in that position, you can deploy one method that is active listening. It is really important to you to deploy this method because active listening means you listen to understand, not just to reply to your friends, but understand truly the complete message of your friends. It is really important because the objective of this active listening is understand the problem by three contexts. The first one is context or the background, because it's really important knowing the objective and the context. The context itself will be different than one and another problem. The second one is the idea or the content itself. You have to point out the critical point, what they are telling you. It is really important because if you miss one critical point, sometimes you will miss the connecting link between one idea to another idea and you will miss the whole idea itself. And the third one is you have to know the objective of this thing, because when you know the direction or the objective of these things, it will help you to understand what is actually the meaning and what is actually the aim of your friends to telling you this story. And it is really important. And the second one, you have to know the objective of this active listening. The objective of this active listening, beside knowing thoroughly your problem or your friend's problem, the second one is encouraging them to tell you or share you the whole story, because it is really important to make people showing themselves and share the thorough thoughts of them. Sometimes people will discourage to share the full story because you are discouraging them, you are judge them, and they stop talking about these things and then they are altering to another things. It would not help you to understand their problem, and it is really important for you to deploy this thing and encourage them to talk to you, to share the problem thoroughly. There are several key techniques to implement this active listening. The first one is paying attention. So you have to have a very full concentration to understand what is actually the problem, to understand what is actually the context, to understand what is actually the aim or the objective of this thing. And the second one is showing your interest. When you have to show your interest, showing interest will encourage them to having a very full and thorough shared thoughts to you. It is really important by sharing, by encouraging them to talk to you very thorough. And the third one is respond nicely. And by showing your interest and respond nicely, you can say like just a simple note will help and encourage them to share a thorough view of their thoughts. And the last one is don't judge. Sometimes people just share it to you so you won't judge them. They just want to share it to you because they have a big burden of their problems, and sometimes judgment will discourage them to tell a lot of things, and it is really not help you to understand the message itself. So it is really important to deploy active listening because it really helps you to understand thoroughly the message by knowing the background, context, and the objective. And there are 4 key techniques to help you to gather that or master that method. The first one is paying attention. The second one is showing your interest. The third one is respond nicely. Just a simple note is really help for them and encourage them to having a thorough share to you. And the fourth one is don't judge, because sometimes people don't like your judgment. Thank you very much.